this was a piece from the New York Times, and I think it's so funny when they do things like, the Sperm Kings of America, because everyone's like, oh, New York Times is so pretentious, but like that's literally how this article started. It was like, the Sperm Kings of America are exhausted, and I'm like, am I reading like
no, they're
a
so funny.
article? Like,
they're so funny.
What?
They take like they publish a lot of things that like we could write, like things about like what is TikTok, but it's written for an adult audience, but like the subject can actually be really silly.
I want to be like the Gen Z correspondent for TikTok for the New York Times.
All right, Taylor Lorenz. Who? Rachel's coming for you. She's like
that's what she does.
The tech. She writes for like the Atlantic and New York Times and does like kind of
so funny.
But
yeah, like I would love to write about like millennial bullshit, Gen Z bullshit for the New York for like something so fucking
can. Classy. Let's get it.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna give you guys like a little information on sperm donations and sperm banks, and then like kind of what who the sperm kings are.
Are they single?
Who are these sperm kings? Some of them are. You want to find yourself a sperm king?
They? Yeah.
Okay, so we have talked about how pregnancies are going down in COVID, or babies, the birth of babies are going down in COVID. Also, what is going down are the amount of donations being made to sperm banks, in part because people are like, I don't really want to leave my house to go donate my seed anymore.
I'd rather just jack off in my room.
Yeah, they're like, it's just too much hassle to go different places. And the I was like, where am I going with this? And the desire for sperm is actually going up.
Yes, I can attest.
You personally can attest?
I'm craving sperm.
You want some sperm. So there's always been a need for sperm in infertile straight couples, but in the last decade, as gay marriage has been legalized, and people are more, let's say, welcoming to single mothers, the market has expanded a bunch. So about 20% of sperm bank clients are heterosexual couples, 60% are gay women, and 20% are single moms by choice, which is, I thought was really interesting. I would have assumed that single moms by choice was lower, but 20% is pretty high.
So 60% is heterosexual couples, 20%.
What's interesting, this article says 60% are gay women specifically.
Oh.
But that's like, what that makes me confused about is because men can't be be inseminated,
and heterosexual women, I mean, like, they might just, a lot of single mothers by choice could just like get knocked up. Gay lesbian women will be more in need of a sperm than a straight single woman.
I was confused because it said gay women as opposed to gay couples, but it's obviously men can't be inseminated.
Yeah.
They don't need sperm. They have sperm.
Yeah.
They need a woman.
Yeah.
I was like, why are gay men excluded from this? I was literally on the way here. I was like, I don't understand this at all. Just click for me. So 20% heterosexual couples, 60% gay women, 20% single moms by choice. Like I said, coronavirus pandemic is creating a shortage of sperm, but sperm banks and fertility clinics have even more interest. Oh. Like, people are like, I want your sperm, as we talked about. So, oh my God, I'm like losing my place all over the.
It's okay.
No, it's so something I learned that was really interesting is not only are people going to the clinic less, but they're having a harder time recruiting. So sperm banks used to recruit new sperm donors from like fraternities, because they're usually like handsome men who are college educated, and everyone wants a smart sperm.
Yeah.
And they also used to recruit from gyms, like healthy men. And they can't do either of those things now because colleges are off campuses and gyms are closed. So they're having a lot of different issues. And just for everyone's knowledge, the like regulations for sperm donation for couples are a lot more lax in the United States. So countries like England and Australia make it illegal to pay someone for sperm donation.
That's rude.
Or make it illegal to pay significant amounts of money. But that's like a very loose term.
What?
In the United States, the FDA doesn't actually set a financial limit, but it regulates sperm donation the way it does with all like tissue donation, and that a donor must consent of his own free will, no coercion, and the banks follow American Society for Reproductive Medicine guidance that payment should not be a donor's primary motivation.
Oh.
So like you can't do it just for the money, but I don't know how you prove something like that.
Who's doing it not for the money?
People who just want to spread their seed.
Yeah.
They just want to reproduce, I
yeah,
guess.
I mean, like those types of doctors who just inseminate women with their own seed.
But the thing here is the average price for sperm ends up costing about $1,100 per vial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's recommended that you buy a bunch of them. So it ends up being closer to like $10,000 when all is said and done, because you're not guaranteed insemination with the vial.
Yeah.
So during coronavirus, like I said, harder to get access to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what people are doing is turning to like a black market of sperm,
Mm-hmm.
introducing the sperm kings. So these are men who you can find on like different Facebook pages, basically, who will post and brag about different things like, this is my height, this is my education, or like, this is my chest score, or like, this is my, you know,
only
background. And they'll get like a bunch of DMs saying like, oh, I want you to like inseminate me or send me your sperm.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's super cute. Like, that's how I want to meet my sperm daddy.
They need to be on Only Sperm.
Yeah, I mean, like, they could create a website for it, but the
Then it
issue
wouldn't be
is that
black market.
But the issue is that, like, the regulation around it wouldn't be allowed. So this is technically something that is, like, under the table, you know? So most donors specify that they will only donate through artificial insemination, but some will also donate via natural insemination, or literally having sex with the woman in question.
I'm not paying for sex, okay? I'm paying for your sperm, and sex is just like a consequence of that.
Right. And it's just like, oops, okay, I guess if I have to. But that's where things get really murky, because there's a huge legal risk for both parties. So there's the risk that the mother will ask the donor for child support, especially if they're doing natural insemination.
Yes.
Or the risk that the donor will want custody.
Yes.
And both of those are way higher than if you're going through like a nameless, you know, you don't know who the donor is, you just know the information about him.
Yeah. You'd have to drop some legal work there, and then that also becomes all murky because...
Exactly. Well, and the laws
shady.
aren't consistent in every state. So the nice thing about this is the price is usually a lot lower.
Mm-hmm.
So one insemination influencer who told her story of finding someone via Facebook and then renting her friend's Airbnb for a weekend was like, my babies only cost $138. And she now has like 90,000 followers online, because she's an influencer for this kind of black market of sperm.
Wait, that's like even scarier. Now that she's getting famous, what if the guy like wants custody?
Well, that's the thing. So like with normal like
conception,
with normal sperm donation, you technically don't know who the donor is, but because of the rise of things like not genetics. What are those sites where you can like give your DNA and find out who it is?
23andMe.
Like 23andMe. Because of the rise of places like 23andMe, you can now find out who that person is super easily. So it's not really as anonymous as it used to be. So it's like, what is really the need for this? But it calls all that legality into question. And yeah, you're totally right. Like, what if this person wants to come forward and say like, oh, now that you have something I want, like that is my kid. Like I am the father.
Yeah. Everyone's a fucking clout chaser.
And that is, I guess the TLDR on that, but I was just super, I guess I was just like super fascinated by, because I know nothing about sperm donation. I'm not able to give it.
You're
I
not a
don't
sperm donor.
want a kid. So like, I've never looked into what that would be like, but I had no idea there was so much regulation around it, or I guess non-regulation around it. And now that I could literally, if I wanted to, go on Facebook and find a guy to like put a baby in me.
I mean, yeah, it's as easy as
but I guess we could always do
sex
that.
work. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's not about the dick, it's about the dick's personality.
Also, yeah, this is kind of sex work.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, if you're doing it in that way, yeah.
I know.
You have to perform the sex to get the goal in sex work and this kind of shit is the ejaculation, right?
Right. I guess so. Yeah. So
except I guess
you gotta go to Washtenaw County to do it.
With sex workers, they would usually wear contraception. So
but yeah, so long story short, if you need a sperm king, just know that they're really tired, they're working really hard for you right now,
and go on Facebook.
Apparently there was this other thing in this article that's not super relevant, but there are two main sperm donation Facebook pages that are currently in like a cold war. They're like not speaking to each other because they each want to be considered like the main sperm king page.
Oh yeah.
And they're in a feud.
We are the real sperm kings.
We're the real sperm kings of America.
There's gonna be a coup soon, I think.